Welcome back, folks. Today, Fishing Planet has released some new information. As you guys know, we've been talking about it for the last month or so. I assumed that when it would come, it would be quite a bit of information. And we actually guessed pretty close on our timeline. We thought it would be about a month away, and it was about a month before we heard stuff. Now, be very clear, this is not out yet that this stuff is in this video. Some of it we talked about 5 months ago when they kind of Killer Whale had talked about it. So some of it's not going to be surprising to you guys because we already mentioned on the channel, but they're actually saying it's coming within a few months. So we don't have an exact timeline on this stuff. Now I'll keep my opinions at the end in case you guys want to know about all this, and I will leave if you guys want to read more into this, you can go ahead and pause the video for these sections. But I'm going to just try to get the information quick because I do not like making long videos. So the new location will be East China Sea, and that is really cool to me. I like the theme that they're staying with Asia yet, and the Philippine Sea and the Pacific Ocean is going to be, looks like it'll be a combination of all of them, it looks like. I'm not 100% sure, but I like the fact that they're going to include a bunch of different fish, it sounds like. And it will be a saltwater location, so they did mention that this was going to happen before. Now, as new information comes out about timeline and what is all in each of these sections later on down the road when they release more about it, I will actually be doing videos because this isn't hearsay. This is right from Fishing Planet, so I will keep you guys updated. And like I said, I never mention it, but if you do want the videos, make sure you guys subscribe. You guys have probably never even heard me say that before, but it is important because I do get a lot of questions, and we put the videos out on it. Now, for the next part, the new fishing mechanic update, and I have an interesting opinion on this at the end of the video, but they are, it looks like not the whole mechanics are changed, but the real mechanics are, and that is very interesting. It's going to be, I guess, tougher and more difficult to reel a fish in as it gets bigger. And it'd be interesting on that, and they're trying to make it more realistic and with a new pumping technique, and we'll see what that all entails, but I have some at the end for that. And a big part for a lot of people is the club, so you can make your own name, logo. I think this is cool for a lot of people. There's already been teams in the game, so having clubs is kind of cool. Might be a good way to run into other people. And there's an interesting thing on here where it mentions that gaining experience points and exchanging baits in club rooms, which I want to know more about that for sure. And kind of see how that goes and having club events. Now, I know you guys already right now, probably a few of you, hopefully I caught you before you were, but you're typing down in the comments, am I going to have a club? And because I've always been not on a team or, we've always had just a group of friends. The clubs are different for me. I think that's probably something we'll do. And if it's something big enough, because I know you guys are going to ask, if it is something where we can have, it can be open and there can be a lot of people in it, I definitely will do something like that for everybody. Maybe like a community, a Soopa-Dave community club. Now, I don't know the size of these clubs. If it can only be 10 people, obviously that's not going to be an option. But we will see, guys. But like I said, I will keep you updated on the stuff as this comes out for everything. And the next one here is fishing together. So multiplayer boats. That's super interesting to me. I think I'll talk a little bit more at the end of the video about this, but definitely they will say they're going to be more stable and faster. because of the conditions of the ocean and sea. So definitely multiplayer boats are definitely coming too. So that's really cool. The next part is anti-cheating improvements. They do not say too much in this, other than that the cheating is getting increased, and they want to make some improvements to it, and they're pretty vague. But um, I know people probably are going to be too happy about the vagueness of it, but I am, and the reason is it sounds like they're probably aware of a lot of it, and they're going to try to get to a lot of it. Now, this is a part of the video for my opinions, guys. Here, also too, before I get into opinions. We will be streaming today, so if you guys want to come talk about the new update news, you guys can come over and talk. Now, we on console have not received the update that PC did get last week. That's why there hasn't been a video on it, but we will also probably talk about that in the stream as well if you guys want to come say hi today. I'm not sure when the stream will be up, but just stay tuned for it, guys. And that is right here on YouTube. If you, it's not, you don't have to go to Twitch or anything. Anyway, guys, so for my opinions on this, the cheating, I am super excited to see this. As you guys know, we've talked about this on the channel. I'm super opposed to it. Anytime I run across a bug or an exploit or a cheat, I send it into Fishing Planet. And my reason is they've always seemed more than willing to listen when people actually talk to them about it. For example, it may have been just coincidence, but when we talked about fish cloning and double uniquing, um, it wasn't more than 2 weeks later that they had an update on it when I sent it to them. Now, did they? It might have been coincidence. Who knows? But they've always seemed to be super. Fishing Planet has always been super open to stuff when anybody sends it in. And I think the issue is a lot of people will complain within the game, and they're not actually emailing Fishing Planet, or if you just post something on the internet or complain in a group, that doesn't always help either, guys. So whenever I run across the exploit or cheat, I send it into them. And I've had recently, or I mean, I've always had good luck with it, but recently I've had extremely good luck sending stuff in with it, and showing them, because they might not even know these exist, some of them, obviously. Now, for the location, I'm okay with the location. I really like the fact they're staying with Asia. The saltwater to me isn't nearly exciting as it is for everybody else, and this is my reason for it, guys. In my opinion, the best update or new lake they've added recently, in probably the last 4 or 5 years, isn't Congo, isn't Amazon. Amazon is pretty cool though. Diversity of fish. It's actually Siberian, or I mean Selenge River, and the reason that is they didn't seem like they were trying to one up themselves or give the newest, biggest fish and the craziest stuff. It was just a well thought out river, and I really liked that it was kind of new, interesting species with a mix of older stuff, and it wasn't a max level. I feel like sometimes Fishing Planet is trying to outdo themselves every time, and when you do that, you run out of fish. If you go if let's say the next fish, now I don't think this is going to be in this update, I don't know, so I'm not speculating, but I'm just saying if you have, you know, you have a 3,000 pound sturgeon in this thing, how do you go bigger than that? Like, I just, hopefully they're careful about one-upping themselves and trying to bring out the newest and baddest thing, and hopefully they're not gonna be nice to see some level 10 lakes coming up, or something as well. Like, mix it up a little bit. We don't always need a new XP farm or the biggest fish. And I know I am not in the popular side of that. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that. But I'm always afraid that if they one up themselves, there's not going to be new content when they get finished with that. Anyway, Clubs. I am super excited about this. There's been teams already in the game for a while. I've never been a big team person. I mean, I don't have an issue with teams. I just never been on one because I always like helping give out information to everybody. So when you're on a team, that can be harder to do. Now, the group of friends that we all play with and you guys see on stream, will probably end up doing a club. And if I can, I will make it open to the public. I know you guys are going to be asking about that. It just depends on how big the clubs are going to be, guys. I don't know. They could be 5 people, they could be 1,000. I don't know. And one thing I want to be very clear about these clubs things. I hope personally, I hope there isn't like some sort of point system or ranking on clubs. Um, I hope it's just a fun thing they put in. And I feel like if you start ranking clubs and you have different sizes, especially if you have clubs where there's not a limit on size of people, that's just going to get out of hand with the if they do a ranking system. With that being said, though, there is some pretty interesting stuff uh, that is actually missing from this. Now, real quick, I will say the boat thing really cool. In my, that'll be cool to have friends on the boat. Um, and we'll see what the new boats are like. I don't. There wasn't a ton of information there on the boats, so we'll see on that. But um, some stuff that was missing that I hope comes in, and this is gonna be just my opinion. I would really like something like the Trophy Lodge. We've been talking about this for like 2 years now on the channel, but it would be really cool. They're doing this great update, and I don't want to take away from it, but I hope one of the next things they work on, besides just getting the bugs, little bugs out of the game and the cheating, in my opinion, is actually going to be like some sort of trophy lodge or something like that. Even if it's something you have to pay, because this game is not a pay to win game. We already had a video on discussing why this is not a pay to win game. I'm not going to go through it now. But even if it was, maybe you got a smaller free lodge, and then you could pay for different lodges. That would be something I'm really interested in seeing. I would really like to see that in the maybe an upcoming thing, and maybe some colored markers or some sort of marker system. Just because if you guys have seen my maps, you guys will know that it is just green spam everywhere. But it'd be kind of cool, even if it was like 4 colors. Then you could have your tournaments, your comps, your regular fishing, and some other marks. But another thing too would be kind of buying large quantities of baits together. It'd be kind of cool to see in this. I know I'm being a little picky, but I'm hoping that some of this stuff is stuff they're working on that will come out later. And honestly, needs more cowbell. If you guys get that reference, you're older like me. The first one that puts that reference on the comment, I will pin their comment for the first person that got that reference. But anyway, guys, I didn't want to make this video as long as it did, but there was a lot of information in here. So sorry about the link to the video, guys. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time, folks.